Welcome to episode 2 of Behind the Fleet with It's Just Miss Wells. And I've got none other than BMoney here with me tonight. BMoney, tell these
What's up?
people a little bit about who you are and where they can find you on social media.
Yo, this your boy BMoney representing Florida Fleet DJs. I am the producer division manager for the Fleet DJs down here in Orlando, Florida, by way of Jacksonville, Florida. Born and raised in Jacksonville, but I've been here in Orlando for going on 4 years now. So just holding it down, rocking with the little Fleet family we have here in Florida. We're pretty spread out here, fleet wise. We're pretty spread out here in the States. So um, just holding it down for the Central Florida area, man. Y'all can catch me on Instagram at the real B Money, DAREAL BMoney. And check me out on Facebook, along with the social media. The real B Money, same thing. I'm just over there posting and keeping everybody up to date with what Fleet got going on.
There you go. And you guys know that you guys can follow me on Instagram at It's Just Miss Wells. So we're going to go ahead and kick into this BMoney. Talk to us a little bit about who you are. Like when you say you're a producer, how'd you get into becoming a producer?
So it started. I kind of have a similar story to Classic. If y'all get a chance to check out the Fleet documentary part 1, that I kind of co-edited on that. So please check that out. But kind of the same background story. Growing up with my childhood friends, my homies, we always had an interest in the music thing, and then we just finally hit that one day was like, you know what, let's get serious about this. Let's invest in our craft. Let's get some equipment. Started out small, recording in the closets, in the bathrooms. Eventually made our way, to a garage, a little bit, bigger space or whatnot. It was about 4 of us starting out, and then from there we just kept going. It did kind of get to that point where we kind of broke off a little bit. At that point, I kind of stayed with it, and I kind of found my niche with this music thing, and I just like the technical side, being behind the scenes of music. Just growing up listening to old school records with my dad and my uncles, and then of course I just listen to old school music. Just riding in the car everywhere I go or whatnot. Always just like how music was put together, how it sounds sonically. And I really took an interest in the mixing area of music, and it just kind of stayed with me. Eventually I got into the producing side more on, the making beats, outside of just mixing records and everything. And I love that old school, the hip hop technique of how they went about making their beats. You find that one record in the crates, knock the dust off of it, throw it on the record player, and you find that one piece, that sample. Like, oh yeah, I gotta flip this that one right here. And just how that whole sequence, how they put it together, I was always fascinated with that. And I just kind of made that part of my own style of producing and just working with different artists. I just love like being creative, and definitely sitting down working with an artist and putting two creative minds together. It's always been a fascination of mine. You know what I'm saying? You never know what you're going to come out with at the end of the day. So
I would have to agree. That is one of the things that I love the most about the music industry is being behind scenes and seeing it all come together. Because most people the track, they see the video, they get to see the interviews, but it's the in studio part of making music that I love the most. Do you play any type of instruments, or were you in band, or were you in like church with the music, or was there anything that exposed you to it that helped you tie in becoming the producer that you are today?
I to this day, I do wish I actually did join band back in school. That definitely would have helped me get more into is playing instruments. But honestly, no, I do not. I was kind of the one that was just blessed with the ear, but unfortunately not necessarily the hand talent to play the instrument. So, but I would say, but on the flip side of that, just being around my uncles, most of them were DJs back in the day. So just kind of watching them and their techniques and how they went about their style and craft, that also got me interested in. And I would say more on the production side, like, putting the music together and everything.
Is there any producer that I'm not going to say that you want to be liked because you have your own sound, you're creating your own wave. But is there any producers that you kind of go to listen to some of their music that inspires you?
Yes, ma'am. I would say off top, my number one is Just Blaze. It's he's my number one. Ninth Wonder is my number two.
Okay.
And I would say my style is more suited, probably similar to Ninth Wonder.
Okay.
Just Blaze, I just love his drums, how he puts his drums together on the sample. But the way Ninth chops his samples, it's he really looks for those soulful parts, and he kind of makes his production like tell a message, tell its own story, and then the artist can come in and put their story on top of it, and find a combination of the two. So I would say that's where my style mimics most that you'd probably hear in a lot of my music. But it's a bunch more producers out there that also kind of tie in with my style too.
So talk a little bit about the first time that you heard about Fleet. Where were you? Was it somebody that introduced you to him, social media, or how did you bump into Fleet, the worldwide coalition DJ?
I have to give a big shout out to DJ History. He's down here in Florida in Jacksonville. He actually introduced me to Fleet. I was up in Atlanta for 2 years, from 2014 to 2015. Doing some studio work up there. I got a chance to work with Rich Gang at the time, Birdman, Young Thug, and Rich Homie Quan in the studio with them. But I just, decided, Atlanta just, it was cool or whatnot, but I was like, I wanted to make more of an impact back home. So I moved back to Jax, and I linked up with History, and he told me about the Fleet DJs, the coalition. And it was right around the time that they was getting ready for the music conference. I think it was up in Charlotte that year.
Okay.
And I, didn't know a whole lot. I'm like, Fleet Coalition, I've heard of core DJs, all of them. I ain't really heard of Fleet. So, let me find out what's going on. And he invited me up to the conference. I went up there, and just from the time I got there to the time I left, one of the biggest things, and this has always stayed with me with joining Fleet, is like, it's just a family of entertainment folks. And I mean, it's real big on like the family aspect. You just don't feel like you're a number part of an organization per se. It's like when you walk in the door, it's like people talking to you like you've already known them, or they known you for 2 or 3 years already. You know what I'm saying? It's just that kind of vibe, that kind of connection. So going up there to the conference, just doing some networking and really talking to people, and it's like, yo, I think this is kind of that family support within the entertainment industry I've been looking for. All the resources are kind of in that one place for you. And, they're only a phone call or a text message or, a sidebar away, if you need any help or whatnot. So that's what really, really brought me into Fleet. The fellowship is the biggest thing. And I know that's once I got to learn, once I joined Fleet and learned more of the members here in Florida, I know they're real big on the fellowship aspect of it down here. Like we're just constantly doing Fleet events in order to spread the brand, spread our personal brands too, as far as our DJs down here working. And that's just what really stuck out to me. And it's like, man, I really, really appreciate that support system is there for what I'm trying to do. Some people, they kind of lose motivation, like, damn, I ain't got no support, this, that, and the third. But when you kind of find that family, people that's got your back and keep you motivated doing what you're doing, then it makes it a little easier along the way,
I will say, I just had a conversation with DJ Will, and DJ Will said the same thing, that it was DJ History that brought him in to Fleet as well. So I've got to get him on the show. Yes. And hear his story and learn a little bit more about him, because it sounds like he's very influential within this coalition. No have you brought anybody in with you, or have you built up your network and your family after you came into Fleet?
I'd say a couple people reached out to me, like once I got in and I, kind of really started promoting the brand under my social media. Big shout out to Rod Beats. He's one of our Fleet producers in Jacksonville. But he actually started working at my studio I had set up at the time in Jacksonville. That's my little brother right there. Once he kind of seen me get my thing going, he reached out to me. He's like, yo, BMoney, yo, how can I get down? Yo, I'm ready, this, that, and the third. I'm like, all right, you sure you're ready, bro? Let me slide me some beats, man. Let me see what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? He been hard at it. He sent me some work. I'm like, okay, bro's been on his game. You kind of learn a thing or two. So I brought him in. That was real special to me because again, like I said, he started out his older brother started with me in our group when we first started music back in the day, and then now his younger brother is working with me with the Fleet and everything. He's transitioning from the producer aspect into the DJ world. So I'm real happy to see that. You know what I'm saying? I'm making an impact just any way possible on that note.
I think it signifies just how valuable this organization is because everybody wants to reach back and bring somebody in with them.
Definitely.
And that's how we continue to grow and continue to bring that presence because we truly are a family here.
Amen.
I feel the same way. It doesn't matter if I'm on GroupMe or Telegram, if I'm on Instagram, no matter where I am, if they see the Fleet tag or if I see it on their post, it's nothing but love. And everybody always takes care of each other within this organization.
Definitely. I love it.
So talk just a little bit about how your career changed after you came into Fleet. Were you able to make more connections or were you able to expand your business and brand more from the things that you learned while you've been here?
I would definitely say I definitely expanded more as far as my network. And again, that's one of the biggest things I do preach to our producers, but just new members coming in general here in the state. I preach to them, expand your network, make that your main focus point coming in. You know, the support is not going to always be there at first. You know, people, they got to get to know you. They got to figure out, you know, what you bring to the table. So while they're bringing something to the table, you know, we can all kind of, you know, eat off each other's plates or whatnot. So, you know, don't be discouraged with that. But once you start to expand your network, the biggest thing from there is using Fleet as a tool in your toolbox. Even though Fleet itself it's its own toolbox, Fleet is just another tool in your own personal toolbox. So you don't want to, you know, solely depend on Fleet, but just use that to continue to, you know, expand your personal brand. And with that philosophy coming in, I took that and I've been kind of building the last couple of years the blueprint for my brand, which in going into 2024, I'm actually working on expanding BMoney Productions. That's my personal production company. And I would say giving me, shout out to Classic, kind of giving me the freedom to on the creative side of helping Fleet with promotional stuff. I've always had a niche for video editing. And Fleet really brought that out of me. I would say the last two, not last year, this 2023, we had a conference in Raleigh, but before that, last 2 years, we had it in Jacksonville. And I really opened up a lot of like, you know, my video creative side, getting promo stuff together, you know, building up the anticipation for that conference. And it really boosted my confidence. So at that point, it's like, you know, I really don't want to just put my production company focus on just music. Let me open it up to video editing too, on the promo tip. And like I said, as I mentioned earlier, you know, Classic reached out to me for the opportunity to edit up the Fleet DJs documentary to part 1. We got part 2 in the making, so hopefully that'll be out, you know, later this year.
Hold on, shameless plug. Where can they find? Where can they find that documentary at?
Yes, ma'am. Right now it's on Tubi, if I'm pronouncing that right. Tubi.
Yeah.
Tubi. Tubi. You can search it on there. Just search the Fleet DJs documentary. It'll pop right up. Very, very good story, and that'll bring a little more insight to the Fleet DJs for the audience out there listening to this. So definitely a good plug on that. But yeah, that really opened me up to bring out the video creative side of me. And again, just going into 2024, that's kind of my focus. Getting definitely the music's going to be there, but I really want to open up that avenue to video editing and really just, you know, start to venture to more of that side. Something that's, you know, I've kind of kept hush hush, but now it's like, you know what, it's about that time. So, and another thing, side note that we do preach with members coming in, you don't come into Fleet just one thing, because I guarantee you at the end of the day, you know, if you continue to stay with Fleet or if you do decide to leave, I promise you're going to leave with some kind of itch to want to do something else. If you come in as a DJ, but it's like, you know, I always had this itch for photography. You know what I'm saying? We have a photography division. You know what I mean? You can kind of venture in there and, you know, get some tips and tricks and everything. producer side, DJ coming in, they want to kind of venture in the producer world, we have that option there too. So it opens up an avenue to where people can, venture into new things that they might not have thought they couldn't do or didn't want to do. But if they kind of see how things go about it, okay, yes, you're this, but you can also do this, especially if you're looking to make, more money in the businesses, that and the third, that opportunity is there. So that's a big way of how Fleet has, kind of helped me these last, it's been 4 years since I joined Fleet now. So.
Okay. I said before it's all said and done, I'm gonna be a DJ.
Hey, that's one of my things too. I got to get behind the wheels. They've been pushing me, so
I'm determined. So, if you had an opportunity to build the ideal artist that you would produce for, what would that artist look like? Would they be a hip hop artist? What genre? Like, would they be open to trying new sounds? Just walk us down that avenue of what you create when you're in the lab and you're working with the artist.
Wow, that's a good question right there. I would say off rip, just to sum it up, my ideal artist would have to be probably half and half of J. Cole and Kendrick. It's with the modern day sound that can really speak to the modern the younger generation. But me being biased, my favorite artist of all time, Busta Rhymes. Shout out to him and his new project.
Love Busta Rhymes. Sorry, I got a little excited. I am a fan of Busta Rhymes.
That's my all-time favorite right there. I'd have to sprinkle a little bit of him in there too. I've always been a fan of his creative style and his ideas that he brings, especially to his visuals. That's another. He's another inspiration that kind of got me into visuals. Like, let's get away from boring. Let's kind of do unexpected and just draw them in to something different. When I'm in the lab working with artists, I tell them the biggest thing is just stay true to your craft. The beat is if you start to feel the beat, you start to find that pocket, it's gonna bring something out of you that you might not expect, and just kind of run with it. Hey, along the way as we're tracking, we'll listen and see, okay, yes, this works. Okay, yes, this doesn't work. Okay, well, let's kind of put this on the shelf for now. Or no, this is it right here. Let's go ahead and run with this. Let's drop. Listen to how I tell the artist to listen how the beat brings something out of you. And when I'm chopping up, most of my production, I just do strictly samples. And I like listening to little things and samples that, like, whether it's like a little catchphrase or something, but something that just kind of sparks an idea. You know what I'm saying? The sample might make it sound like this, but when I put the artist on there, I'm like, yo, it says this in a sample, but let's make it mean this. Something totally different. That's like, oh, wow, people I ain't never think of that, or I never would have even thought of that when, once I heard that piece or whatnot. Just the style of J. Cole and Kendrick is like perfect because, again, they're going to give you unexpected. You know what I'm saying? It's still going to fit within the context of, nowadays. Current events, but they're gonna just give it to you straight and forward, in a creative, lyrical way. And I love how that comes out, how their sound comes out. I dig it.
Oh, I can see it. I see the vision. I see what you painting. I love it. So
Right.
Talk a little bit about the producer division. Like, where do you see that going in 2024 with Fleet?
So talking with Classic, he started back up his label, Fleet Entertainment.
Okay.
And he is looking to bring a few artists in under the label. And the biggest thing he wants is to get a lot of Fleet production behind those artists that he do bring in. So I would say one of the focus this year is definitely wanting to get a few projects out with just Fleet production on there. Just to really show the world, like, hey, this is what we got brewing. We got a couple of dope producers, on our roster that, y'all need to check out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the biggest things that we're going to try to push for this year with the division. Just start making some noise. I mean, we kind of been under the radar the last couple of years, but I think going into 2024, we're kind of in that revamp period. I've been getting a bunch of good ideas from some of the producers, like, hey, let's try this on, this kind of project. Let's try this on a promo tip, and just little things. And definitely with the power of social media, there's so many different avenues that, we can start making some noise and kind of draw attention in. And then, okay, once we got the listeners in, okay, now let's take it to that next level. Okay, we find those artists, let's put a little EP together, like, hey, you digging this, da 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 da. And of course, with our annual conference that we have coming up in Orlando, shout out to Orlando for 2020. Hey, we get some of those artists to come down here and showcase for us, not only just showcasing, what they're capable of with their music and their craft, but they right behind them is some Fleet producers that just gave them some hot productions. So just marrying the two together, that's our main focus for 2024.
Okay, and I know that you said that your production company is gearing up for a strong year too. So I think it's also important to talk about what you see happening with your production company. Is it going to be married in with some of the goals that you are achieving with Fleet, or do you have another set of things that you're trying to accomplish on your own brand as well while you're working with Fleet?
I would say most of it is going to tie in with Fleet.
Okay.
I would say more on the video side, video production side. That's probably going to be more personal. Okay. I'm looking to do a few personal projects, stuff here in Orlando and in Jacksonville. More on like the documentary side. Okay. Promo stuff will always be music related stuff, but I would say definitely on the documentary side. I'm kind of looking to venture into that. I've always been like a research head, but I'm more into putting a visual behind it. You know what I'm saying? So, people can listen to it, but they can also put the picture together of the story of why this happened or how this person came about in their career, this, that, and the third. So that's kind of what I'm gearing more up on this year for BMoney Productions.
I love it. I love it. So, BMoney, what keeps you motivated and keeps you driving like on a day-to-day basis to juggle all that you do?
I get that question a lot from my team here in Florida, the way I be up and down the road between our different cities and just going out and supporting our people. But I would say it is that though. Just going out and seeing my team work. If it's nothing, a few of my members here, DJs, we have a spot called MVets Post here in Orlando. And it's nice little spot. They more on the mature crowd, but just going up there and just rocking with them, seeing them in their element. I love that and supporting them. Also just venturing out to my other Fleet members in their cities, seeing them in their element. That's that motivation, because again, I know at the end of the day, it starts with me, producer making the music, getting the music to the artist, getting the artist on the music, and then getting the music to the DJ. It all goes hand in hand. So it's like, eventually I know it's gonna come that day, and I see it, probably popping off this year. But I'm gonna walk in and I'm gonna hear one of them BMoney records. One of my DJs playing. I'm like, wait a minute, that's my record right there, y'all. Right? You know what I'm saying? So it's coming. It's coming. I haven't really pushed it probably like I should, but I know timing is everything. I just want to make sure it's everything's 100% solid, so that way when that promo run gets going, is something I can truly rock with. So that's my motivation at the end of the day.
We're gonna speak it into existence that by the time the conference comes around, if you haven't heard it before the conference, at the conference in 2024 is where you're gonna hear your BMoney record.
Yes, ma'am.
And even your video or your production going heavy, where everybody knows that you out here working and you get the accolades that you deserve for keeping it moving.
Definitely.
It is big for me on this show to be able to make sure that we leave nuggets of information for the people that tune in, whether they're a member of Fleet or not. So before we wrap up, if there was one thing that you could tell an artist, an inspiring producer, a host, or just somebody that was interested in becoming a part of the music and entertainment industry, what would that nugget or gem of advice be for you?
I would have to say, and I think I probably mentioned this earlier, stay true to yourself. at the end of the day. We are not the same. We might have the same styles, we might talk the same, might be from the same city, this, that, and the third, but we, like, DNA wise, like, we are not the same. I promise you, it's something about you or a artist or just someone in general, it's something different about you from the next person. It might take you a little time to find that, but once you find that, that's what you build on. And just see how you can make it fit with whatever you're trying to do. If it is something, industry related, entertainment industry related, or if it's something outside of that, you know what I'm saying? Just stay true to you at the end of the day. And I think that makes the path for creators a lot easier. Again, it's not going to always, be the quickest route. I mean, I hope you're not in the shortcut.
Okay.
I don't want to take shortcuts, but just stay true to you at the end of the day. I know that's one thing my parents have always taught me, and that's what kind of helped me, spark my creativity throughout the years. Just like, okay, I see what he's doing, I see what she's doing. Mm-hmm. What can I do different from that still stands out at the end of the day? You know what I'm saying? Just sometimes you just gotta let the wheels just keep rolling. You know what I'm saying? So that would be my little 2 cents.
Well, tell these people one more time where they can find you at on social media.
Yes, ma'am. So definitely, I'm full time on Instagram. It's at BMoney, DAREALBMONEY. Holla at me. I'm posting Fleet promo stuff all the time, and promo videos also. And definitely on my promo videos, you can kind of hear some of that BMoney production. So make sure you listen up closely when you checking out the promos. And then just hit me up on Facebook too, same at BMoney. Those are my main 2 that I'm rocking with. So shout out to the Fleet.
Listen, and as always, follow your girl on Instagram at It's Just Miss Wells. BMoney, thank you so much for being my second guest on one of the dopest podcasts that's going to take over in 2024, and that is Behind the Fleet with It's Just Miss Wells. We appreciate your time, the impact that you are making with Fleet, and I look forward to connecting with you at the conference and in the future to keep this ball rolling.
No doubt. Appreciate you.